Brendan Schaub went on Tigerbelly, and oh boy, this is going to be good. So I'm going to play this and give you my thoughts on it. I get talked about during this little portion I'm going to play. So let's go ahead and see how this went down. But Bobby Lee and his wife confronted Brendan Schaub. Let's check it out.
Store guys, and so when you guys called, it was you and Brian, and you said that that you guys, my career was going to be over. That you guys have evidence, you know what I mean? That I'm some Reddit mastermind. That you have files and proof that you can trace, me from Reddit back to my house, the URL,
IP address.
the IP address, and that I have been for 5 or 6 years have been coyly and mischiefully, contributing to threads that were
Not contributing.
What?
Didn't you say it was, well, from what you had said, that we were responsible.
Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And that that you were going to expose me to Rogan and all these people, and that I should get a lawyer, and that this is what you had told me, and also, just mind you, it was at a level 10 of rage. It wasn't like a soft-spoken,
very aggressive.
Yeah, it was extreme. You know what I mean? Threats, and then you called Kalila things I don't even want to mention.
I did not.
I know you didn't.
I haven't heard what you guys said. I don't talk like that. I would never call Kalila that. That's
Right.
not in my
Brendan,
privilege.
you called me that on the phone call we had.
I did not call you that.
Brent, you
I did not.
No, but you don't know what they said, so you can't.
The stuff that I got was pretty on par to just about the worst thing you could tell somebody.
Brian apologized. What Brian said on there, and even I told him that was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But what I found to be heartbreaking was going into a character assassination where you were saying, not you in particular, I don't even remember what, because I was I was so trembling almost, calling me a coward, weak, spineless. And my only defense to that is that I just have my own way of dealing with the world, you know what I mean? Because I grew up in such a traumatic childhood. I try to be passive, and I try to not, I'm afraid of confrontation, as everyone knows, in terms of my character. And, I said to Brian days after that assault that, I no longer want to be his friend.
Mm-hmm. And did you guys speak on the phone, or
yeah, we
just
did.
text?
Yeah,
and he apologized. He said.
Yeah, he did apologize, but
he doesn't expect you to be his friend.
Yeah, it's not. It's done.
Yes.
But that being said, also I will never say anything bad about him. I think that he is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I really do.
And can I give some context to that call?
No, please.
And we definitely, I'll admit straight up, we definitely didn't handle that the way two adults should have handled that. Mm-hmm. The context behind that is I never talk about this stuff ever. Our podcast is usually fun. We don't talk about the negative stuff that I deal with. Brian wasn't aware of the negativity that I deal with. Everybody gets stuff on Reddit. Everybody in this room, I don't know if you guys do. You guys do for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kalila does.
We all do.
Being a woman in this space. So there's a difference between hate and then straight evil, toxic, criminal behavior. Mm. And for 6 years, I've dealt with this. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to criticize my comedy, the podcast, so be it. That's the internet. That's what we sign up for. But when it crosses over into harassment of my family, death threats, my kids, going for sponsors, companies that I work with, my business, that's where it gets dicey. Mm. So it would have to get so dicey to the point where my team gets notified on this. Because I'm not on social media, or sure as hell not on Reddit or any of these forums. And the reason I'm not on there, it's not because I think I'm better than social media. I don't need it. Of course I need it. I'm a comic. I'm not on it because it hurts my feelings. Because I can't handle that stuff. I don't do well with it. It was so toxic, I got out.
You're entrusting a team to report back to you. And when you hear from that team, you're receiving it as gospel. This must be accurate information that I'm receiving from them.
These guys, yes. So this is how we get here. Good question. Yeah. So this is how we get here. So hate, I understand. There's a lot to hate on. But again, when it crosses over into criminal and this other stuff, and they get notified because a member of that group is abusing a 6-year-old child with autism, and then the Reddit moderator gets affected, and they start talking. So then they look into it, and that's how we get here. And they look into it, and they go, hey, let you know, one of the 6 accounts that has done most of the posting is associated with Tigerbelly. Now, with all the toxic hate, everything that I get, this awful stuff, I expect that from people I don't know. When I found out it was somebody that I know,
but
and that's where the aggressiveness came from.
But is it true?
That's why I'm here.
I think this is not helpful because this happened a week and a half ago, when in fact this drama, if we're going to talk about context, started in January. And I think while I really appreciate you being here, I truly believe you're a guy who cares for his family. I do believe you feel you're on the back foot here, and you feel like your livelihood is under attack. I understand the hurt all around that.
Appreciate it.
But there is a lot more context to what you guys are talking about, which is that phone call that happened a week and a half ago. And if it's okay with you, because I don't want there to be any confusion moving forward, I'd like to start from the very beginning and just get to the God honest truth. Because if we don't do this in a systematic way of when it started and how did we end up here.
The start with when I was notified of the Reddit group?
No.
Where do you want to start?
No.
To start with the Trash Tuesday podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean...
But here's where it gets conflicted is those are almost 2 separate things.
It certainly didn't feel that way.
And I understand that, and I respect you, and we can talk about this so we get to the end of it. When it goes to the Reddit group, that's where that call came from. And then this stuff that we're talking about with Trash Tuesday, and if I had a time machine and I could go back, I would have called. The reason we're here is because I didn't handle this well. And I'll say this right now, and I'll get back to that Trash Tuesday stuff. Let's say, and I'm not saying this in any facet, I truly believe neither of you have anything to do with this Reddit group. Maybe someone on your team had, or
No.
hold on, I'm just telling you from my
Okay,
perspective.
okay.
Yeah, and you can too.
Because
You
my
can
team
too.
is here, and I
And that's fine.
have.
This is everybody in the...
This is my family.
Yeah.
So if you're coming to me saying you're not responsible, but your team is, you're coming for my family. I've been with these guys for 8 years.
I'm with you, Clyde. I'm with you, and I would love for you guys to explain it, and that is why I'm here. And that is why I'm here.
Okay, but
And that's why I'm here. So,
wait.
go ahead.
Okay, so let's. You have your own timeline in your head of how this went down, and I have my own timeline. And while I want to believe those 2 things are separate, the timing is very suspicious to me.
But it's... I also... Can I just interject real quick? All right. They're not separate to me because, during the conversation, right, when you guys called me, you and Brian, right, the Trash Tuesday thing did come up in that.
Because why did it come? You and I talked about that stuff before all this, though, Bobby.
I don't want to get into the weeds. Can I just present a timeline? So I don't want there to be confusion. If we're really here to talk about the truth, I'd like the opportunity to just start from the beginning.
Please do.
And
Whatever you guys want to do.
if at any point you feel what I'm saying is truly unfair and unjustified, you can interject and say, Kalila, let me clarify on that. But I have written it down. This is something that has taken so much of my mental
Agreed.
space and clarity, and I don't want to live like this,
Me
Brandon.
neither. And I know you don't. And again, if I can go back and finish this thought, is when if I had a time machine, could go back, I would have called you directly.
Thank you for saying that.
Because you and I don't know each other well
We
at
don't
all,
at
any
all.
facet. And when I came to you, and I'll tell you this right now, anybody out there, if you're going to go at Kalila, you better be ready to go. You are not to be underestimated. You're very fucking smart. And, dude, and I told you this when we talked.
Yeah.
I said, you should be a lawyer. Yeah, as good as you are on podcast, you should be a goddamn lawyer. That being said, if I could redo it, I would have called you direct, and this would have been solved so easily. Also, with the other information I had, I don't want to get in the weeds. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. With other information that I had from a person we all know in here, I don't know him that well, and I don't know you that well, and that information coming at me at the same time that the Trash Tuesday and all this stuff coming, it was like this perfect whirlwind.
Right.
But if I would have talked to you before and you gave me the context, I went, that makes so much sense.
Right.
We'll
get to that part where that information is then weaponized against me to people like Rogan and Whitney and Schultz and people that are very influential in the podcast space. And
which wasn't fair to you, Colette.
The character assassination that took place, that I think you underestimated how much information was actually going to get back to me from these people. But again, I really just want to...
Everything Brendan Schaub just said there was a complete lie. I don't even know if he knows he's lying at this point, or if he's really just that psychotic. So, first of all, and by the way, if you want to listen to this whole thing, you have to go check out Tigerbelly. But I don't even get what he's trying to say about the whole Reddit thing. So he keeps slandering me, saying that I assaulted some 6-year-old, which I didn't. But then, is he claiming I'm a Reddit moderator on the Fighter and the Kid subreddit? You know, that subreddit that hates me and has had me banned. I think I was on there for a day or two before they banned me. They always hated me. But then he's claiming either that I'm somehow involved with them, and that Bobby Lee is, and that there's no criminal activity. And he kind of gave that away. He knows he has to say criminal activity, so people are like, oh, wait, maybe this is serious. Maybe that subreddit is doing criminal things, when the latter half of his answer was the truth. It's affecting sponsors, and nobody's watching my show anymore because they're making fun of me because I'm dumb. And that's what it is. But, once again, how involved are you with this Reddit dude? Who cares? They're just making fun of you. And if he keeps accusing Bobby Lee of somehow being involved, they're checking IP addresses. Imagine how psychotic somebody is. All they think about is this Fighter and the Kid subreddit. But even if Bobby Lee was guilty of everything Brendan Schaub's accusing him of, so what? People are allowed to go on the internet and make fun of you. And my God, how much of a piece of shit is he? Because he's not denying, oh yeah, I threatened you with Rogan. Oh my God. How's Rogan going to take that, by the way? This guy's out here threatening actual comedians that if they don't get in line, they'll never go on your show. By the way, we heard about this because of Bobby Lee. How many people has he done this to that we'll never hear of? How is he just all around town throwing Rogan's name around? Hey, I want a good seat in this restaurant. Better let me in or I'll tell Rogan. Him and Brian Callen just threatening Bobby Lee. Truly pathetic. And everything he said was a lie. He's trying to claim that there's some federal the FBI and the CIA, after, they look into terrorism, they're focusing on the Fighter and the Kid subreddit making fun of Brendan Schaub. What is he talking about? And why is he suing me for copyright infringement when there's a federal investigation, according to him, happening? I have no idea what the guy's even babbling about at this point. It's sad. It's pathetic. His special stinks. I think it's probably going to get juicier. I might drop some more clips. Definitely, we'll talk about this during a live stream, but let me know your thoughts on everything so far.